Good afternoon. My name is Chris Leak. I would like to call the meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone to the June 10th, 2025 meeting of the City County Planning Board. Would you please, July 10th of this meeting of the City County Planning Board, would you please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Today's meeting is being broadcast live on TV 13 and will be rebroadcast at 10 a.m. Friday morning and again at 4 p.m. Sunday afternoon. Our first order of business today will be the consent agenda. These are items for which the petitioner is requesting withdrawal or continuance, or items for which staff has recommended approval and no one has signed up to speak in opposition. For our public hearings today, each side will have a total of 12 minutes. There will be no rebuttal period. Once the public hearing is closed and the board goes into work session, no one is permitted to speak unless a planning board member addresses them for a question. For general use district zoning requests, the planning board must consider the full range of uses allowed in the zoning district being requested. The petitioner may not refer to a specific use for the property. For special use district zoning requests, however, the petitioner must identify the intended use or uses of the site and give specific details on how the site will be developed. Items under section B of the agenda will require final action by the appropriate elected body, either the city council or county commissioners. As such, votes taken today by the planning board concerning these items are recommendations that will be considered by the elected bodies during their review of the request. Before addressing the planning board today, we will need your name, address, and zip code for the record. The first item of business is the approval of the minutes of the June 12th meeting. Is there a motion?
Move approval.
Motion by Mr. Lamb, second by Mr. Grubbs. Any discussion? All those in favor, sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. That is unanimous. Now going to call on Mr. Brian Wilson to go over the consent agenda.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the board on this rainy July 10th. We'll go ahead and proceed on the consent agenda items. First item is B5. That's case F1392. This is the final development plan for the Brookberry Land Base 7 on the west side of the Beltway. They're continuing to work with NCDOT. It's just taking a little more time than they had anticipated. So they are requesting that continuance to your August 14th meeting. Next item is C2. That's another automatic continuance. They're going to skip a month and go to the September 11 meeting. Again, that site does have several environmental features, topography. It's a complex site, so they have some things to work out before they bring it before you. And then our next item is B1. That's case W3650. Petitioner is Jeffrey B. Hinsdale and Lisa Goins. This is the Sandpiper Place Townhome Development. This was continued from your June hearing. This is an 8.90 acre site located on the east side of Willard Road, just south of I-40. You can see that the site is bounded on the east by a manufactured housing development, that is MUS. On the west, the RM12 zoned area is a mixture of multifamily buildings, mostly quadruplexes, and there is an assisted living facility as well along Willard Road. Directly across are some a mixture of vacant and constructed single-family lots, and then again on the north side, that is Highway 40. You can see here on the aerial, the site is undeveloped and heavily wooded. And again, I'm not sure if you can see my pointer. Grab that. That is the assisted living facility, and those are the quadruplexes, and then the single-family homes here to the west of the site. And this is the area plan. It does recommend single-family residential consistent with the existing zoning. However, again, this site is located on a minor thoroughfare, Willard Road, and is directly south of I-40. It has excellent access to transit opportunities, and therefore, staff generally feels that this is generally consistent with the area plan recommendation as far as density and general land use. It's just a matter of product type. And this is the site plan. It is showing one single driveway entrance with two private streets with back out parking. It's a total of 10 townhome buildings. It's an approximate density of 6.4 units per acre. They are showing all the required internal sidewalks, and they did a really good job of locating the common recreation area central to the site. They've also volunteered a type 1 buffer yard along the rear of the townhomes to preserve the view shed and also to kind of provide an additional buffer for the rear yards of those townhomes fronting along Willard. You can see the proposed stormwater device on the north and south of the sites. And again, that's bounded by a perennial stream on the eastern side. Here are the elevations. The site plan does meet all UDO requirements, and the request is generally consistent with both 42045 and the South Suburban Area Plan update to prioritize higher density housing close to services and transit. And staff does recommend approval of this request. Be more than happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for staff? No. No one has signed up. Is anyone here opposed to this recommendation? Seeing no one, I declare the public hearing closed. What is the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I move the planning board find the request is consistent with the comprehensive plan.
I have a motion by Mr. Lamb.
Second.
Second by Mr. Grubbs. Any discussion? All those in favor, sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. That is unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, I further move the planning board recommend approval of W 3650.
I have a motion by Mr. Lamb, a second by Mr. Grubbs. Any discussion? All those in favor, sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. That is unanimous.
All right, our next item is B2. That's case W3653. Petitioner is the city of Winston-Salem. This is for Brookberry Farm Phase 12. This is a zoning conversion case, so requesting to zone from Forsyth County MUS to the city of Winston-Salem MUS for an upcoming annexation. The site is 4.73 acres, located at the eastern terminus of Chanterelle Court, north of Brookberry Farm Road. Again, this is phase 12 of that development. I believe the anticipated build-out is approximately 14 lots for that. So they're just looking to annex that area, and we need to process the zoning conversion. There is the aerial. You can see the property is currently heavily undeveloped. It's just north of the manor house there. There's the Chanterelle Court, as mentioned. So that street network will continue internal to the site. And there's the West Suburban Area Plan update land use recommendation. It does recommend single-family land uses in recognition of what was proposed in the original rezoning. Staff recommends approval of this request. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for staff? No one has signed up. Is anyone here opposed to this recommendation? Seeing no one, I declare the public hearing closed. What is the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I move the planning board find the request is consistent with the comprehensive plan.
I have a motion by Mr. Lamb, a second by Mr. Grubbs. Any discussion? All those in favor, sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. That is unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, I further move the planning board recommend approval of W 3654.
A motion by Mr. Lamb, a second by Mr. Grubbs. Any discussion? All those in favor, sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. That is unanimous.
All right, Mr. Chairman, our next item is B3. This is another zoning conversion case. Case number is W3654. Petitioner City of Winston-Salem. This is known as the Union Cross zoning conversion. Again, converting from Forsyth County.
I did too.
We might need to go back.
Yeah.
I think it was,
I think you said.
said the wrong number.
I'm sorry. I'm
That's 53,
sorry.
right? 3653.
Yeah, I had meant to recommend approval of W 3653. I apologize.
We have a motion by Mr. Lamb. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Grubbs. Any discussion? All those in favor, sign of aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. That is unanimous.
Sorry, Mr. Lamb. Next time we'll try to break these up a little bit. Next one is B3. That's W3654. City of Winston-Salem, Union Cross zoning conversion from Forsyth County RS9 to City of Winston-Salem RS9. It's 13.57 acres located on the north side of Union Cross Road at its intersection with Thomasville Road. You can see the property is bounded by RS12, it's a built-out subdivision to the north, RS20 to the east, RS9 further to the west, and then there is AG to the south across Thomasville Road there. So this is kind of in the periphery of the suburban area. And you can see there's the aerial for the site. It does have a couple of single-family homes and some accessory buildings on it now, but it's largely undeveloped. You can see that built-out subdivision there and that street sub there that will most likely be utilized in the future should this be developed. And this is the South Suburban area plan update. It does recommend single-family residential at a density of 0 to 8 dwelling units per acre, which is consistent with the existing RS9 zoning, which was zoned back in 2023. Staff recommends approval of this request, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you might have.
Is there any discussion for staff? All right, what is the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I move the planning board.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is anyone here opposed to this recommendation? Seeing no one, I declare the public hearing closed.
Mr. Chairman, I plan to appropriately recommend or find that the request is consistent with the comprehensive plan.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Lamb, second by Mr. Grubbs. Any discussion? All those in favor, sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. That is unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, I further move the planning board recommend approval of W3654.
I have a motion by Mr. Lamb, second by Mr. Grubbs. Any discussion? All those in favor, sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. That is also unanimous.
Okay, and now we'll move on to item B4. This is case W3655. This is petitioners Douglas and Renee Stedman Living Trust. Site plan was known as Sycamore Trails Townhomes. They are requesting a rezone from RM8S to RM8S to add some additional multifamily and single-family land uses. It's a 4.50 acre site located on the east side of Old Salisbury Road, south of Brewer Road. Just to give you more context, Peters Creek Parkway is a little bit off the map further to the east of the site. You can see there's a mixture of different zoning here. It is RS9 directly to the south, IP for the cemetery to the east, RS9 to the north, and then further to the north you can see a mixture of general business, highway business, and RM18. Then again, just a little bit to the southwest, there's RM8S for some townhomes there. And this is the area. You can see the property is largely undeveloped. There is one single-family home directly to the north there, and then another one kind of at the corner of Brewer and Old Salisbury there. This is the bridge that's currently under construction, anticipated to be completed sometime in the fall of this year. And this is the commercial building is the location of the old Moose Lodge. There are those townhomes that I was mentioning further to the south. And then that GBS area, kind of almost at the edge of the map there on the northeast, that's the location of where the new Sheets is coming in. And this is the South Suburban Area Plan Update Land Use Recommendation Map. It does recommend, recommend single-family land uses at a density of 0 to 8 dwelling units per acre. That was recognizing the land use at the time, so it was still had single-family homes on it, not necessarily what the zoning was at that time, which was still RM8S. So it had not come into fruition since 2000. I think it was 2005 when it was originally rezoned, and so that's why the area plan recommendation is what it is. Again, it's all along a minor thoroughfare. It's located near an activity center, has good access to transportation. Planning staff generally supports these types of requests. It's really a matter of product type and not density. Here is the site plan showing a 30-unit townhome development. It's proposing a total of 6 buildings. Each building contains between 3 and 7 units each. You can see there's a lot of different features on the site. This is Old Salisbury Road here to the west. There's that single-family home I mentioned to the north. This is a power transmission line to the east, just to the west of the cemetery there. And then there's a perennial stream that they have to stay away from there on the south. So it's really kind of tied up on pretty much every side except for the Old Salisbury side. They're proposing a density of 6.7 units per acre, which again is generally consistent with what the area plan recommends. They're showing one private street, less than 500 feet long with private parking. They are showing one proposed stormwater device here on the western portion of the site. And then they're showing all the required buffering on the northern and southern portions of the site against the single-family residential zone properties. The site plan does meet all UDO requirements, and staff does recommend approval of this request. Oh, and I apologize. Here are the elevations in case you wanted to see those. So again, it's generally consistent with 42045 and the general recommendations of the suburban area plan update to prioritize higher density housing close to services and transit, and therefore staff does recommend approval of the rezoning request.
No one has signed up. Is anyone here opposed to this recommendation? Seeing no one, I declare the public hearing closed. What is the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I move the planning board find that the request is consistent with the comprehensive plan.
A motion by Mr. Lamb.
Second.
A second by Mr. Grubbs. Any discussion? All those in favor, sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. That is unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, I further move the planning board recommend approval of W 3655.
We have a motion by Mr. Lamb, a second by Mr. Grubbs. Any discussion? All those in favor, sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. That is unanimous.
All right, Mr. Chairman, we'll go to our last consent agenda item for today. This is item C1. This is PBR 2025-11. This is the Abilene Acres Planned Residential Development Request. It's a 64-lot planned residential development in an RS20 zoning district. The site is 29.62 acres, and it's located at the northern terminus of Martin Street and Abilene Street. And I just want to point out, this is just outside of the Walkertown jurisdiction. You may remember this site from February when this came through as a rezoning request to rezone it to RS12. That did go on to the county. They did ultimately deny that request, so they're back today to do essentially a by right planned residential development, meeting the current density maximum allowed in the RS20. And this is the proposed site plan. It illustrates a total of 64 lots, down from, I believe, 93 lots, which were proposed in the rezoning. So you can see that to take it down to a lower density development. They're showing all required active open spaces. They have one large active open space at this continuation of Martin Street on the northeastern side, and then one other active open space on the western side. The site itself is proposed to be low density. That's usually considered to be below 24%. So from a state stormwater standpoint, no active management is required from a stormwater device standpoint. That's why you're not seeing any. The site plan does meet all UDO requirements. And, I did want to mention, they are proposing to continue the public easement there to the offsite lift station. So they preserve that access there as well, if you had any concerns about that. Otherwise, the site plan does meet UDO requirements, and staff recommends approval of this request. I'll be happy to answer any questions, or if you have any questions for Mr. Snow, he's here with the town of Walkertown about what their requirements are.
I was just wondering the difference in the density or the number of units compared to the previous case.
It's 29 units total.
Less.
Less, excuse me.
29
Less.
Apologies,
Okay.
yeah, less.
29 less, okay. But the same, if I remember correctly, the same connections.
Correct.
Okay.
Move approval.
I have a motion by Mr. Lamb.
Second.
Second by Mr. Grubbs. Any discussion? All those in favor, sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposes? That is unanimous.
All right, that concludes our consent agenda for today, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman of the Board, that brings us to item D on the agenda, which is the election of officers. For those that aren't aware, the election of officers in the planning board bylaws, it's dictated that the regular meeting for the month of July is when we hold the election of officers. And as such, since we will be electing the chair first, I will run this portion of the meeting. Then once the chair is elected, I will turn over to the chair for the election of the vice chair. So at this point, I'd like to ask, are there any nominations for chair of the planning board?
I'd like to make a nomination for Jason Grubbs as chair.
Are there any other nominations? If not, is there a motion to close the nominations?
Second.
It's been properly motioned and second. All those in favor, please say aye as far as closing the nominations.
Aye.
And so actually, I believe that the chairman is now elected by acclamation since there were no other candidates. So at this point, I will turn the meeting over to the chair, Mr. Jason Grubbs.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Leek, for that nomination. I certainly, given the two folks that have preceded me in this spot, feel like I have tremendously large shoes to fill, but appreciate the confidence and look forward to continuing to serve with all of you on this board. We'll now open the floor for nominations for vice chair.
I'd like to make a motion for Salvador Patino.
All right. Any further nominations for vice chair? Seeing no one, is there a motion to close the nominations? Mr. Lamb, second by Mr. Leek. All those in favor of closing the nominations, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that's unanimous.
Congratulations.
So the nominations are closed, I guess.
It's same thing by acclamation.
All right. Okay.
All right. Well, Mr. Chairman, I will allow you to continue, but I think I still have the next item, which is staff report.
Wonderful segue there.
It is. So with that, just a few things. I will first turn it over to Kirk, who will give you a preview of our work session. This is still a little fluid, but I will let him talk to you about that.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Good afternoon, Chairman Grubbs. My first time to say that, and board members. We've got 3 items scheduled for the work session. The first thing is, and this is tentative based on making sure the folks will be able to attend, but we're reaching out to City County Emergency Management since August is Emergency Management Month. And we've also had, as you all know, lots of rain and flooding on a national scale lately. Would like to hear from them and know the board would about what plans they have to mitigate disasters in our community. The second is Scott Tesh from the city budget office, the budget director, is going to be giving a presentation on the city council's new strategic plan that was recently adopted and guides their vision for the coming few years. And the third item is the long-range section of the department is going to be leading some public outreach in August on housing options related to the comprehensive plan, missing middle housing, ways to increase density in neighborhoods, things of that nature. And we want to just share a brief update on that to you before we go out in August. So those are the items we have, and that's it. Thank you.
All right. And that brings us to, staff.
Yeah, I have 5 more items.
Okay, sorry about that.
I will now turn to either Mark or Brian. I'm not sure which one is doing the August preview, but apparently it's Brian. Since he's standing up, he'll go over your August case preview.
So congratulations, Mr. Chairman. Your next month is going to be relatively light as well. We've got 1 new site plan amendment, and it's going to be on Fairlawn Drive for a restaurant. A new final development plan, that's going to be for another section of Brookberry. So again, you'll have 2 final development plans, both in Brookberry, the original plan, and then 1 new planned residential development request for August. And that's what I have.
Thank you, Brian. The next item is just to bring you up to date. Dixon Pitt, who is works for the Williams Group, has been appointed and confirmed by the city and confirmed by the county to be a new planning board member replacing Mo McCray. He has been sworn in, but we're not holding today against him. He got sworn in on Tuesday, but he already had an engagement for this weekend planned, so he is out of town. So he should be at your work session. So again, sworn in, already have his picture on the website, et cetera. So we're kind of on top of it. I feel good about that. The next thing I do want to point out is Michelle O'Brien on our staff, who has been a planner, has done an outstanding job for us, has been promoted to project planner. And so you will start seeing her more and more, and she'll start presenting some zoning cases to you. So congratulations to Michelle.
Congratulations.
The last 2 things, just so you know, I will be out this coming week at the School of Government. I'm in a 2-week course for the Public Executive Leadership Academy, which is PELA. And that's from Sunday through Friday, so I'll be gone this coming week for that period of time, and then that rolls right into my vacation, so I'll be gone 2 weeks in a row. I'll be back in the office on the 28th, and I'll be here that week, so I'll miss your work session. I'll be here that week in the office, and then I'll be gone the next week for the second week of PELA, so I'll be gone 3 out of 4 weeks. Don't fret. Not that I am that important anyway, but everyone here can handle anything that comes up. I have no doubt about that. So, but I did want you to know, in case you do try to reach out to me, I will be gone 3 out of the next 4 weeks.
Must be nice.
2 of those weeks are work.
So now might not be the time, but I'm going to be on vacation for our work session in July. So
We have an able
Sal,
vice chair.
good luck.
There we go. And the final item, I would like to just take just a personal point of privilege, just to thank Chris for his years of service. For those that don't know, I spent about 8 years prior to the time that we've had together on the planning board with him on the Board of Adjustment for the city. So I have had about the last 16 years of my life in the context of running and operating meetings with Chris. So he has not been replaced yet. So your replacement hasn't been appointed, but I think it's going to be coming up within the next couple months. So you'll still be here, but I did want to just thank you for your years of service, not only here, but also with the Board of Adjustment. So
Thank you.
we'll look forward to more formally recognizing
Yes.
you in the future. He called me today to have a conversation, and I told him, I said, I'm going to need some time to emotionally prepare myself. So Chairman Leak and I started on the planning board at the same time, and so I'm going to feel a little lost without him here. So
that's all I had under staff report. So
all right. Well, if there's nothing else, then anything for the good of the order.
We'll have our motion to adjourn.
Gavels.
thank you.